Hello, friends. I hope you can see me today. It's Miss Lynn at Neva Livingston Library for some Wacky Wednesday story time. I am happy that you're here, and I hope you enjoyed Dr. Seuss as much as I do. I love One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. I love to be wacky, and we have certainly had our share of wacky for the whole entire last year. Dr. Seuss's book, Wacky Wednesday, is one I'm going to share with you. It's a pretty short little book, but I'll hold the pictures up so that you can see some of the wacky things. Now, Dr. Seuss's Wacky Wednesday book is almost as old. Oh my goodness. The copyright is 1974. It all began with that shoe on the wall. A shoe on the wall shouldn't be there at all. It's a good thing my shoes are on the wall today because I hurt my foot. I'm wearing slippers. Oh, good grief. I looked up and I said, oh man, and that's how Wacky Wednesday began. Dr. Seuss has shoes in all kind of weird places. I looked out the window and I said, gee, more things were wacky, and I saw 3. Do you see bananas? I went down the hall and I said, hey, 3 more things are wacky today. Find a candy cane in that picture. Holding up the table? In the bathroom more. In the bathroom 4. That tree. I have a tree upside down in my room today. We'll look at that in a few minutes. I began to dress, then I said, wow, 4 more things are wacky now. I looked in the kitchen, I said, by cracky, 5 more things are very wacky. Who is chasing the cat? I was late for school. I started along and I saw that 6 more things are wrong. Where is that person driving from? Sitting in the back seat. We call that a back seat driver. And then 7 more. No wheels on that car. We're just going to walk our way to work. And the Sutherland sisters, they look wacky too. They said, nothing is wacky around here but you. She's about to have her head whacked off. Goodness gracious. But look, I yelled, 8 things are wrong here at school. Nothing is wrong, they said. Don't be a fool. Do you have tigers looking out the window of your classroom? I ran into school. I yelled to Miss Bass, look, 9 things are wacky right here in your class. Find a headless student and one with a beard. Do you have someone with a beard in your class? Nothing is wacky here in my class. Get out, you're the wacky one. Out, said Miss Bass. I went out the school door, things were worse than before. I couldn't believe it, 10 wacky things more. Look for that giraffe. Then I counted 11. One of my favorites on this page is an alligator in a baby carriage. Then 12 worse things. I got scared and I ran. I ran and knocked over Patrolman McGann. How would you like to be in a car jumping over the river with no bridge? That's pretty wacky. And the cow. Oh yeah, I forgot about the cow. Check that out. I'm sorry, Patrolman, that's all I could say. Don't be sorry, he smiled, it's that kind of a day. But be glad Wacky Wednesday will soon go away. I'm going to claim that one. Only 20 things more will be wacky, he said. Just find them and then you can go back to bed. Do you see a fish trying to fish for a man? That's wacky. Wacky Wednesday was gone when I counted them all, and I even got rid of that shoe on the wall. There's my shoe on the wall right there. It's a good thing I didn't need to wear that today. But look at this. Look at this, Miss Hannah. My tree is upside down. I just don't believe it. And over here I have a tree growing out of the hat. And my favorite, what do you think about that? Now we can put our flowers in the vase the right way. Okay, well, this next book is really, really funny. I don't know if you've heard anything about the Wonky Donkey before, but there are a couple of books. The Dinky Donkey, the Wonky Donkey, and I've heard there's a new one coming out, so I hope you enjoy this. It's very cute. And it's a little bit of a tongue twister, so you may have to be patient with me. The Wonky Donkey. The words and music, they put it to song, are by Craig Smith. The illustration is by Pat Cowley. I was walking down the road and I saw, what do you think I saw? A donkey, hee-haw, and he only had 3 legs. He was a wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey, hee-haw. He only had 3 legs and 1 eye. He was a winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye, and he liked to listen to country music. Yee-haw! He was a honky-tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music, and he was quite tall and slim. He was a winky, honky, tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim, and he smelled really, really bad. He was a stinky, dinky, lanky, honky, tonky, winky, wonky, donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelled really, really bad. And that morning, he'd got up early and he hadn't had any coffee. He was a cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky, tonky, winky, wonky donkey.
Miss Lynn, Miss Sherry says this is one of their favorites.
Oh, I love it. I'm so glad. I like it too. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelled really, really bad. That morning, he'd got up early and hadn't had any coffee. And he was always getting up to mischief. He was a hanky-panky, cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelled really, really bad. That morning he'd got up early and hadn't had any coffee. He was always getting up to mischief, but he was quite good looking. He was a spunky, hanky-panky, cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky, tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey. Hee-haw! And that is the story of the wonky donkey. And I hope, Miss Sherry, that you and your family, if you haven't read this one, that you will come and get the Dinky Donkey. I think you'll enjoy that one as well. It's very cute. Well, we had a little bit of theme things going this week with wind and kites and weather. And in your craft bag, you got some things to make kites. So I'm not going to read this whole book about one of my favorite characters, Curious George, but George is coming to read with me. And I will be the man with the yellow hat, of course. So, here we go. This book starts off with George finding baby rabbits. And it's kind of long, so we're going to go to the middle of the book where George meets his friend Bill. Here's Bill. Bill's been riding his bike. And here's George. George just got out of the lake. He is soaking, sopping, dripping wet, right? So Bill says, I can show you how high my kite can fly. Bill put his bike up near a tree, and they ran off. Now, we don't usually start at the end of a book, but that's where we're going with this one. There was a lot of wind that day, and that was just what they needed. The wind took the kite up fast. George was too little to hold on in this wind. A kite that big could fly away with him, so Bill had to hold it. George saw the kite go up and up and up. What fun it was to fly a kite. I don't know about you, but I used to fly a kite when I was a kid, and it was one of my favorite things. Watch that kite go way up in the air. But you're going to see we have a problem in this part of the story. They let the kite fly for a long time until Bill said, "I will get the kite down now. I must go home, and you should too." But when Bill pulled the string in, the kite got into the top of a high tree. Bill could not get it down. What a tangle! "Oh, my fine new kite! I cannot let go of it. I must have it back," Bill said. "But the tree is too high for me." I'll think about someone who loves to climb up trees. Do you climb trees? I used to be a tomboy. I would climb those trees and get stuck. There was no tree too high for George, so little by little, he got the string out of the tree. Down he came with the kite and gave it back to Bill. "Thank you, George." "Thanks a lot," Bill said. "I am so happy to have my kite back. Now you may have a ride home on my buck. I will run back to the lake and get it. You wait here for me with the kite, but do not let it fly away." Do you know about that little curious monkey? Well, George looked at the kite, then he took the string in his hand. He knew he could not fly the kite in the wind, but maybe he could let it go just a little bit. George was curious. He let the string go just a little bit, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. When Bill came back, there was no kite, and there was no George. "George," he called, "where are you?" Then he looked up. There they were, way up in the sky. Bill had to get help fast. He would go to the man with the yellow hat. That man, he would know what to do. "George is not here," said the man with the yellow hat when Bill came. "Have you seen him?" "George and my kite are up in the sky. They're near the lake," Bill shouted. "I came too." But the man did not wait to hear any more. He ran to his car and jumped in. "I will get him back," he said. "I must get George back." All this time, the wind took the kite up and George with it. It was fun to fly about in the sky, but when George looked down, the fun was gone. He was up so high that all the big houses looked as tiny as little bunny houses. George did not like it a bit. He wanted to get down, but how? Not even a monkey can jump from the sky. George was scared. What if he never got back? Maybe he would fly on and on and on. Oh, he would never find a way. Helicopter must have hit the wire. What was that? George could hear something, and then he saw something. It was flying in the sky, just like the kite. It was a helicopter, and in the helicopter, hooray! It's the man with the yellow hat. Down from the helicopter came a long line. George got hold of it, and the man with the yellow hat pulled him up. George held on to the hat, held on to the kite, and then he had to give it back to Bill. Look at that monkey holding on to a kite with his back feet. It's like catching it with his toes. I am so happy to have you back, George, said the man with the yellow hat. I was scared, but you must have been scared too. I know you will not want to fly a kite again, not for a long time. You must give it back to Bill when we get home. Hooray, Bill shouted when George came to give him the kite. George is back, and my kite is back too. And then Bill took George by the hand. He went with him into the little garden in the backyard, and from the little garden into the big garden where the bunnies were. Here is one of my baby bunnies, Bill said. Take it. It is for you. A baby bunny for George. George took it in his hands. He held it up. It was his bunny now. He could take it home with him. Look at those bunnies living in their hutch. And now they're getting big enough to go live on their own. And that is what he did. Now, in my yard near the lake, we have a lot of rabbits, and they are already starting to eat some of the things in my yard. So I do love this book with Curious George and the Rabbit. Whoops, I got books falling all around me. Now, I'm going to show you with a couple of things that we have over here. What you can do with some of the things you got in your bag this week. So, now, you may or may not believe it, but if you find a windy day, I had kiddos in my classroom, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-olds. They love this. In your bag, you just have a recycled shopping bag. So you can get your own. If you didn't get enough for everyone in your family, get your own shopping bag and get a piece of yarn or string and just tie it on there. And on a beautiful windy day like we end up having in March and April and even into May, all you're going to do with this is run around with it and catch the wind. You can have races with your brothers and sisters or cousins and see who can go the farthest with their bag kite. So that is in your bag. Another suggestion, and it just has a picture in there for you. And you can use a grocery bag again or a piece of fabric. And all I did was cut a diamond shape out of a bag. And I found some sticks in my yard. And I decided this one's going to be a little big. So I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller. Maybe. There we go. And I have my stick, and I can tape it to my diamond shape. This stick is not as straight as one you're probably going to find in your yard, but I was hobbling around trying to find one, and this one will work to show you what I mean. So here I have part of my kite like this, and you might want yours to be straight, like I said. And then you're going to come across the middle of it like this. You can use more bags, actually, to make a kite tail, or you could use yarn or ribbon. You can use a lot of different things when you are creative at home to make your kite. And like I say, I'm just kind of taping this together. And at the end of my kite, I'm going to tie a kite tail. So I just have an old piece of rope. You can use an old shoestring if you have an old pair of shoes, that would work. A piece of yarn, anything like that. And then I'm going to have a kite. Now, if you do it with something like newspaper, you could paint it or color it the way you want it to look, and then see who makes a kite that flies the best. So those are a couple things that are just fun to catch the wind, have a fun time with Wacky Wednesday. And in your packet, you also have a few other ideas here. You can kind of trick your family members to see what they find in your bedroom that's wacky. And I wanted to let you know that next week, we're going to send home a small sample of some green goo for St. Patrick's Day week. And it is salt and flour and water with a little bit of green food coloring. You'll get the recipe to make that next week, as well as a small sample of how it feels. And it kind of feels like Play-Doh when you do that. So I just wanted you to know that we've got some more fun things coming up for the rest of March. And whoops, I forgot this part. Here, hold this, Miss Hannah. We're gonna play Whack-a-Doodle. How about Whack-a-Noodle? Wacky Wednesday, Whack-a-Noodle. And there we go. I beat you. You gave up. Oh, goodness. We'll see you next time, friends. I hope you have fun. Get out in the sunshine with your wind catchers and your kite. Bye.